You know you're in for a wild ride when a woman in designer heels stomps across your dirt driveway, waves a shiny envelope in your face like it's a wedding invitation, and says with a straight face, "You've been fined $80,000. I was standing there, mid-muck, holding a shovel covered in horse manure and thinking, did I just get sued for owning horses? That's how my feud with the Silver Pines Homeowners Association began. I had just moved into a ranch in the outskirts of a town called Cotton Ridge. My Uncle Ray left it to me after he passed. 10 gorgeous acres of old farmland, 3 horses, a barn older than the highway that now ran behind it, and enough fencing to keep out coyotes and nosy neighbors. Uncle Ray always said the HOA would be the death of civilization, but I thought he was being dramatic. Turns out he was being nice. 2 weeks after I moved in, I got a letter. Thick, embossed, smelled like lavender and intimidation. It wasn't a welcome. It was a violation notice. Apparently, I was guilty of unauthorized agricultural activity, disruptive animal sounds, and the cherry on top, non-compliant fencing, all of which made me laugh out loud because, hello, the zoning on my property was agricultural, county certified. Uncle Ray even laminated the paperwork and nailed it to the barn wall like a badge of honor. I called the number on the letter, and wouldn't you know it, I got transferred to the HOA president herself. Her name? Deborah. But she went by Debbie. And if you've ever dealt with a Debbie from the suburbs, you already know. She said my property was visible from the street, and therefore subject to aesthetic standards. I said, I'm literally surrounded by hay fields. She replied, we'll be scheduling a hearing. I replied, great, I'll bring cookies. 3 days later, she showed up in person, clipboard in one hand, her little dog in the other. She pointed at the barn, unapproved structure, pointed at the horses, unregistered livestock, then pointed at the scarecrow my uncle had dressed in overalls and a cowboy hat. Visual nuisance. I offered her a cup of coffee just to be polite. She said, are those horses vaccinated against neighborhood exposure? I said, are you? It wasn't about noise or even rules. It was about power. See, what I didn't know then was that Debbie had a history with this land. 10 years ago, she tried to buy the ranch from my uncle, wanted to turn it into a gated garden club with fountains and boutique shops. Ray told her to buzz off, in writing, and now with me in charge, she was back with a vengeance. Things escalated fast. One morning, I woke up to find a massive red sign planted next to my mailbox. Property in violation. HOA fines pending. It scared the horses so badly that Max, my uncle's old gelding, busted through the fence. That wasn't just passive-aggressive. That was dangerous. So I took the sign straight to the HOA office, a little building that looked like a cupcake shack glued to the community pool. Debbie was inside, sipping lemon water like she owned the place. I dropped the sign on her desk. You trespassed, I said. She smirked. Community access overrides private barriers, I said. Not on agriculturally zoned land, it doesn't. That wiped the smirk off her face. For about 5 minutes. Then she handed me another letter. This one claimed I now owed $80,000 for ongoing non-compliance. I told her she'd need a judge for that. She said she was happy to meet one. I said, so am I, because I'd already hired a land use attorney named Gloria. Gloria didn't smile much, but when she saw my zoning papers, she said 4 words I'll never forget. They don't stand a chance. But Debbie wasn't done. Next came the steel gate, 6 feet tall, keypad locked, blocking the only road to my property. They installed it overnight. I walked up for a feed delivery and slammed straight into metal. The delivery guy said, "Some dudes in vests told me you were delisted as an approved address." I called the sheriff. He came out, took one look, and said, "Yeah, this is illegal as hell." Debbie showed up mid-report, all pastel blazer and fake pearls. Tried to say the road had been informally annexed by the HOA. The deputy laughed. "Lady, there's no such thing." He wrote her a citation on the spot and gave her until sundown to remove the gate. It was gone by 4:30, but oh, the drama. That night, someone egged my barn. Then came the water sabotage. Someone dumped mulch into my pump filter, killed the pressure to my horse troughs. Then the HOA golf carts started circling the back fence at midnight. Sirens, flashing lights, alarms, like a horse apocalypse parade. So I installed cameras, dozens of them, even a drone, and let me tell you, the footage, pure suburban soap opera. Debbie's husband sneaking along my fence line, HOA board members pouring milk over my keypad. One guy, still unidentified, smearing something oily on my hay bales. We sent it all to the HOA in a cease and desist letter. We didn't stop there. We included zoning maps, legal documents, and a very polite warning of impending litigation. That made some board members back off. But not Debbie. No, she doubled down, filed a complaint with the EPA, claiming my manure pile was contaminating the water supply. Real professional. But the county inspector came out, ran tests, and found the contamination was coming from her neighborhood. All that fertilizer to keep her lawn golf course green backfired. So Gloria said, "Enough," and we filed the lawsuit. Harassment, trespassing, defamation, property interference, you name it. Debbie tried one last power move, claimed I was running a commercial horse business, lessons, parties, manure sales. I wasn't. But ironically, her smear campaign made my ranch more popular than ever. People stopped by just to see the wild outlaw horseman she kept ranting about. Kids waved at me on horseback. One guy asked if I sold compost. I gave him a bucket for free. Then came the showdown, HOA board meeting. Debbie didn't know I was coming. But under the easement, I had a right to be there. I brought Gloria and a huge printout of the zoning map. "This is your HOA boundary," I told the room. Then I pointed to my land. "And this is me, not inside it." Gloria handed the board a USB stick full of footage. She also brought something special, Debbie's old letter to my uncle offering to buy the land, her signature, her dream to turn it into a luxury wellness retreat. It was never about horses. It was about control, about power, and about a dream she couldn't buy. so she tried to ruin. The room went dead silent. A week later, Debbie went dark. No new letters, no late-night sirens. Her golf carts disappeared. Then came a final offer: drop the lawsuit, take a fat settlement, and stay quiet. I turned it down. We went to court. Gloria laid out every detail: the illegal gate, the sabotage, the fake fines, the harassment, the EPA complaint, the HOA's own pollution. She even brought in the fire marshal, who'd laughed off the bogus burning tires report Debbie filed after I had a legal bonfire for my birthday. The judge ruled in my favor. HOA fines voided, damages awarded. Debbie personally fined. HOA banned from contacting me ever again. Debbie appealed, lost, resigned in shame. I used the settlement money to fix the barn, repaint the house, and build a training arena, something my uncle always dreamed of. And right by the gate, I put up a brand new sign: Evergreen Ranch, Agricultural Zone, Horses, Welcome, Tyrants Not. It became a photo spot, even got printed on T-shirts. A few weeks later, Debbie moved out. I got a letter after that, handwritten, no return address, from Debbie. She apologized, kind of, claimed she had good intentions but may have overstepped. I didn't write back. I just saddled up Max and rode the fence line. The sun was setting. The wind was soft. The ranch was quiet. For the first time in months, I felt peace. This land was mine, legally, spiritually, and no HOA, no power-hungry suburban empress was ever going to take it from me again. My uncle would have been proud.